Hello, welcome back to the channel. And today we'll be doing 5 trades the Pistons could make to help speed up the rebuild. Now, I know this is before the lottery, and this is probably not a great idea, but I have some of these with contingencies on what happens in the lottery. That's just my idea. So I thought we'd start off with a more realistic trade. We obviously just saw the report that Jonathan Kuminga is potentially trying to discuss and see what the hell is going on with his future because he wasn't really played much by the Warriors this year. And Draymond Green, they might want to opt out, or he might want to force a trade out, get out of there. And I imagine, a lot of people think he might go to the Lakers. That was, kind of helped out by him dapping up and loving LeBron a lot after the game. But I'd imagine the Warriors would much prefer if he goes over into the East to the worst team in the East and really kind of get away from him. I think he would, love to come back to Detroit, obviously from Saginaw up here. Well, actually, I'll do it this way up here for you guys who don't know Michigan very well. Detroit down here, Saginaw up here. So I do think that it would be a great fit for both teams. Kind of move on there, but they reload with a great spot up shooter in Bogdanovich. Let Curry drive and run around more and give another guy right there. And Marvin Bagley can be kind of a pick and roll, pick and pop guy if needed. Not the greatest of player, but it helps match the salaries a bit. So maybe a pick involved too. I wouldn't really want that, but you're taking a huge risk with Kuminga. By risk, I mean upside. Potentially getting 2 freak athlete upside guys within a season for the Warriors. You got him and James Wiseman, but Draymond Green would help bring veteran leadership to this really young team. He can help teach Isaiah Stewart kind of to become a similar player to him, which would be great. And also just he would be helpful to help generate, be a floor general, help get an edge to this team, right? As corny as it is with the Pistons, being a bad boy Piston, Draymond Green fits that mold perfectly, right? He's Dennis Rodman type, with a bit more playmaking ability. He talks a lot, gets ejected a lot, but he brings an edge to the team, really, and you kind of need that with this Pistons team, right? I mean, outside of Isaiah Stewart, really don't have a guy that's like that, so that would really help. And then yeah, Bogdanovich really would help the Warriors, I think, to give them a soft reset on a potential ending of the dynasty. Because I think they could reload if they get rid of, the big three or big four if you add in Iguodala, if they get rid of Iguodala, but add him as like a coach. And then offload Draymond Green and Clay Thompson. I think that'd be probably a smart idea because I feel like you can have Curry be on your team like basically indefinitely. I would doubt he leaves the team ever. But I think you can build like around him going forward and not worry about Clay Thompson, those guys, get some assets for him. But that's just me. Next trade we have here will be with the Knicks. Now, this trade, obviously, a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. I don't think the Knicks are as out on Julius Randle as the fans are, but we know the fans are crazy in New York. Get him a future first-round pick. James Wiseman, a big down there, kind of with Marvin Bagley as well. And Bogdanovich would be a good spot-up shooter. Because Evan Fournier kind of did that role, but just didn't play the rest of the year. So get him out, offload some salary. Then Knicks get a little bit of salary here. If they don't want James Wiseman, they could decline the option. He's a bit more of an upside center, I think, compared to Mitchell Robinson or a Isaiah Hartenstein. Bagley can kind of slide on that 4 role, gone by Julius Randle now, and then Bogdanovich would be a great 3 to help shoot the ball with the team being carried by Jalen Brunson, clearly the new alpha dog on the team. And then Julius Randle, I know a lot of Pistons fans kind of like, oh, Julius Randle, because they didn't really watch the regular season, but this guy was unbelievable. I believe he was all NBA third team, played a ton. Had a couple 50-point games in a stretch there. I know against the Wolves and a few other teams, but I really like his game. I think he would be a great 4 next to Duran and would really help free up some, shots, I guess, it did take some shots is what I'm trying to say, away from Cade and some other guys. But, he's got enough veteran presence and leadership. I think he would help this team go forward. Again, kind of just speeding up the rebuild a bit. Up next, we have the trade with the Suns. Obviously, the Suns just fired Monty Williams. They kind of are in a soft reset rebuild, retooling, I believe is the correct term that all these guys use nowadays. So moving on from Ayton, who really obviously didn't play game 6 and was not the most impactful, I think would be a pretty interesting point and would help them move forward. Obviously, we know that Troy Weaver was involved with DeAndre Ayton before, trying to offer him money when he was a restricted free agent. Really liked him a lot. So Bogdanovich goes to the Suns. He's pretty much in every one of these trades. really would help move them forward, give them a good score. Wiseman to kind of again replace what Ayton leaves. Him and Jock Landale can kind of figure it out. And then Isaiah Livers, another scorer shooter off the bench, because Lord knows the Suns need as much bench help as they can get, because outside of their big two, the other guys got hurt. So, Terrence Ross can't really be a guy that's, a solid guy coming off your bench, sure. But other than that, like Landry Shamet, I know, but like, I don't know. I think Livers just give him another option there. So, and DeAndre Ayton would be a very interesting fit. Obviously, with Dern already on the team, maybe you can have Dern be a backup big for a few years, learn from Ayton, and then go forward. And then, Ayton could, change his scenery, might help him out. Obviously, thought he was going to go to the Pacers for a while when he was restricted, but having him do a little pick and roll with Ivy and Cade, that'd be fun. That'd be very fun. So, the next trade is the one I like the most personally. Now, this is top 3 protected for 2023. I would just say it's top 1 protected. I couldn't make that a thing. If it's not Wembanyama, I think you can flip the pick. Maybe they'll go after Scoot Henderson, maybe even Brandon Miller, one of the twins, Thompson twins, maybe even Jarace Walker if they want him. But the Al Horford had a horrific series. He's getting super old. So offloading him to the Pistons would help them out there. And then if Jaylen Brown ends up requesting a trade, he could get a super max deal and leave. It would be hard to see him leave. But again, as a huge Jaylen Brown fan, I would obviously love to see him in Detroit. Great two-way player. Him and Cade would be an unbelievable duo there. I mean, I just get excited thinking about those two playing together. And then Bogdanovich, again, I've said it a few times, he would be a real good player to pair with any of these good teams as a good catch and shoot option. Basically have ball dominant Tatum do his thing and can kick it out to Bogdanovich. He's a much better kick out option than some of the guys that was doing it this year, like Marcus Smart. And then Jaden Ivey, young star in the making, hopefully. Well, not hopefully if he leaves the team, but wish him well. But he's going to be a good point guard option, kind of. I mean, obviously he's not really a point guard, but I think he could figure it out a bit better with the Celtics than he would with the Pistons, with Cade Cunningham obviously already there. But, I think the Celtics could maybe even flip Ivy for a different point guard if they end up picking this route. I know this is a little off topic, but I wouldn't hate Chris Paul on the Celtics. I know that'd probably be crazy and everyone thinks I'm nuts, but a bit of a vet in there and figure it out. Kind of what they thought was going to happen with Kyrie, but much better veteran leadership. But I really do like this trade a lot. And the next 2 trades, bigger names than Jaylen Brown, but Damian Lillard to the Pistons. Now, this is not an unprotected pick. I think this is I think it's even if it is Wembanyama, I think this could be a thing you could do. Obviously, if it is Wembanyama, I'd rather than pick him and keep him. But if you give up Wembanyama, Jaden Ivey, another future first round pick, and Wiseman for Damian Lillard and Cade, that'd be unbelievable. You keep Bogdanovich this time, so that's a good little big 3 there. Even you kind of move up the rebuild a ton. This would speed everything up a big time. You'd bring in an all NBA MVP candidate type guy into the locker room, a leader. Obviously, he says he doesn't want to leave, but this Trailblazers may be like, listen, dude, we got to rebuild now. They saw a lot out of Shaedon Sharpe, a lot of progress there. Anthony Simons is pretty good as well. And then add in Wembanyama to that mix. The Blazers could really have a great young core going forward in the West with a bunch of aging cores around them. Obviously, the Suns are old. Clippers are always hurt. John Morant is going nuts and not in a good way. And basically the Nuggets are really the only team here to stay. It seems like, LeBron's getting very old, AD's injury prone, Warriors are breaking up, etc. Right. So this could really help both teams out, I think, a lot. And then finally, I know it says 5 in the title, but I have to add in a bonus one because of the recent news with John Morant coming out, with him going nuts again, not in a good way with his gun stuff. This is another one where it's not Wembanyama, but anything but Wembanyama. So, if maybe a Scoot Henderson comes in and replace John Morant, Jaden Ivey as well. Jaden Ivey gets a lot of John Morant comparisons, basically because of their hairstyle and, ability to not really shoot and be hyper athletic guards. That's just my opinion. And then Bogdanovich to kind of help the Grizzlies with a more shooting thing, and then have Ivy and potentially Scoot or even Brandon Miller, go in there, get a young piece for him. John Morant's value has to be at an all-time low right now. He's an unbelievable player. Obviously, when he's on the floor, him and Cade would be great. Cade could play a bit more off ball with John Morant being more of a slashing, driving type. And I think that fit would be very good. Again, this is kind of like the Jalen Carter situation. We really have to figure it out. But, if you clear him and think it's okay, I would think it'd be a crazy move to not try to go after him. With a guy at this level, this talent, this age, right? He's like what, 23, 24, and he's on a supermax, yes. But if he can figure it out and a change of scenery, getting away from some of his friends, because I know he's went to college at Murray State in Tennessee. I think that's in Tennessee. Actually, might be in Kentucky, but in that region, right? His friends are around there. Get him out, get him into Detroit. Obviously, I know a lot of jokes about Detroit and things like that, but again, it's a much safer city now. I mean, it's getting better. So stick him in Auburn Hills and Royal Oak, with all the nice burbs. Keep him out there. Damn it. Hey, we'll all get his dad can have anything he wants. His dad and his son, anything, or dad and his daughter, excuse me, anything they want. Front row, court, we can make it happen. Bring him in, go full young rebuild mode. If this happens, it'd be great. Again, I know I'll get a lot of hate from this. Shut up, my guy, Big Chap. Always watches the videos, always supports me. I know he was like, anybody that has the Pistons taking this, I'll block on whatever. It's a high risk move, but the Pistons are in a bad spot here. If you're not going to get Wembanyama and you don't want Brandon Miller, go for it. If you're comfortable with drafting Brandon Miller, obviously not nearly as bad as what John Morant did. Well, depending on what you think, we're not going to get into it. But would you rather have Brandon Miller, or if you're going to already go for a guy with gun problems, go for John Morant? Right? I think it's a no-brainer in my mind. But let me know down below what you think. Maybe you give me some trade ideas in the comments. I know this is before the lottery, but I'll probably do maybe an updated version of this a month or so after, in between the draft and the lottery results. But we're praying for Wembanyama. Hopefully it happens. Let's get some lottery luck in Detroit. Doesn't happen often. Happened basically once, but if it happens again, that'd be great. So thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a great day, and peace.